Please subscribe to help you and your motorcycle perform better. So you can see these great big, almost fire type shapes coming up into the tire, and all of that's that flex in the carcass, just taking the bump and releasing the bump.
My name is Dave Moss. For over 20 years now, I've been helping riders maximize the performance and life of the tires on their motorcycles. This is Contact Patch.
So now with another 600 miles on each set,
here's a preview.
Is there any difference in tire wear from the last review? Starting with the Pirelli Rosso 2s. So at this point, not so many upside down clouds, no deformation on the hole at the edge of the tire. Well, there's just a couple that drop down the bottom edge here. All in all, the other part in that soft carcass area is there's lots of gray in it, a lot of gray dots all over the place. Now onto the Q3 Plus, so we can see original shiny black, darker gray, more of a matte finish, but then a very light gray band. Now that's the end of trail braking on the light gray, because after that is another darker gray band. So with the tires, each action is clearly definable with a hard carcass. S22 rear, fresh shock oil when we started. Where are we at now with wear and patterns? Well, almost to the edge, and closer in some parts than it is in others, and that's the flex of the rear tire as it's under load. In regards to the Sipe, if we tilt it back a little bit, this edge will seem like it's taller than this edge, and it's worse towards the outside. So what that means is these were the same height when the tire was made, all the way from this side down to this side, completely the same height. Typical street wear, especially when you don't adjust your shock, where there's little or no load because you're off the gas and braking and turning, means that at the furthest point out, irrespective of whether you have the small, intermediate or large Sipe, this end and the leading edge in this bottom corner will be very, very thin compared to up in the tire. Now for the Michelin Power 5, we still have a very shiny area around the outside, but that shiny area decreases dramatically in one spot, but then goes really wide in others. So again, this was the softest carcass out of all of the tires. So no surprise to see a rhythmic band between getting close to the edge with upside down clouds to being quite a ways away from it. Totally expected with soft carcass. Now on our Q3 Plus, very clear band here, and then another very blue band there, and then a very gray band here, another slightly darker gray band, and a bit of blue. So just like the front tire, clear bands of wear, easily identified, easily visible, that show where the carcass is contacting the road and how it's behaving. So yes, when we get to the end of this test, we have to service the shock. The shock's a little harder, you need quite a bit of specialized equipment to do that, plus nitrogen and tools. So don't avoid the shock because you can't do it. Because as we've seen from the rear tires, if that goes unchecked and you leave the settings as they are, the degree of acceleration of wear to the Sipes, especially on the outside edge of the tire, is so severe that you could end up with a rear tire gone and have the front look perfect, especially with a softer carcass tire. So please don't disregard the shock. Either pull it out and get it serviced, or better yet, buy another stock one off eBay, have that serviced, and then every 5,000 miles swap the shock out, take the old one out. Now you have 5,000 miles in terms of time to get that serviced and ready. The easy part is you're duplicating settings each time, provided you use the same brand of oil and the same number So 5, 7, 10, whatever that number is for shock oil, just keep repeating that number. And that way, all you've got to do is take the shock out, put the other one in, and you're ready to go.
Catch the full video at DaveMossTuning.com. Dave Moss can tune your suspension no matter where you are on the planet via his remote tuning service. Contact Dave on Facebook or by email, dave@DaveMossTuning.com.